Everyone, I'm back. The Vibe Kage has returned to do this. The pretty much other popular what if that is on my channel with Deku and Hokages and Naruto verse. And I bet a lot of you think Bakugo's dead, but Deku knows that was not enough to kill him. It's just enough to you know, severely cripple him. Put him in that you you're lucky to be alive, motherfucker type states. Like, they don't even know what the fuck is going on. Now, Deku, he's in the room, and everyone's just staring at him. Like, what the fuck? You know, All Might saying you went too far. You killed him. As Deku's just saying he's alive. Just check the fucking camera. As, they look and they do see Bakugo just like, moving in the rubble, just crawling. As they're like, what the? As Deku's saying he's not a total idiot. He can run and he can use his explosions. Granted, he used some to nullify the impact that came towards him, but it still was not enough for him to avoid the whole blast. Even if he did take that all the way, it just would have, blown half of his body off. He'd still be alive, and I would have proceeded to fix him, then destroy him again. As they're all kind of terrified. As, no lie, a slap is heard. And everyone's kind of surprised because her hand is still on his cheek. It never went forward. It was just one of those, light ones. Kind of like the slap Hinata gave Naruto. As, Momo is just like, what have you done, Izuku? As, Deku, he looks confused. Like, he really, I'm gonna just do it like this because I like this. Shout out to Sagex for doing the thumbnail. I probably should mention that more often, but I do forget sometimes. But, yeah. I don't know what he uses to make his thumbnails. It's not the same as mine. I wish it was, but a la verga, mi vale. Anyway, Deku, he unfortunately, confused at why Momo slapped him. And, All Might is telling him, okay, even though Bakugo survived, you could have killed him. That's still no excuse. As, Deku then proceeds to make a sphere, the exact same, only 10 times as big in his other hand. Everyone sees it. Momo, she steps away in fear. And Izuku sees this as, he's just saying, huh. I never realized how weak everyone else was around me. As, the Dai Rasen Rinan disappears and he just flying Raikens out of there. No one knows where he went, of course. Momo thinks he went home, and she says that's probably where he went, and she'll talk to him. But no, he didn't go. There was no sign of him being there at all. No notification on her phone that anything's been moved in their house. Nothing. They check They call Inko to see if they've seen him, or she calls her parents to see if Deku's seen them. Nothing. They just know Deku's gone. Now we time skip about 2 weeks, and no one knows where Deku's been. He's not been to school. He's not shown up anywhere in UA. Momo's fucking worried, as she's confused by Deku's statement. She was kind of hurt. All Might also is just not sure on what to do with young Midoriya. Inko, she wants to know what exactly is going on. They show her the video of Deku doing that blast and him surviving Bakugo's explosion, which fucking terrified her. She wanted to put Bakugo in fucking jail for what he did. No. She's just saying, no. You don't. Do you not see the fact that if my son didn't tank that shit, that she would have died? As you know, they're like, I mean, yes, but you know, that's what Inko's on. Like, Inko knows her son. She knows that, like, she's not mad at him for damn near killing Bakugo. She wanted Bakugo dead, in fact, when she saw, you know, because they showed her the full clip, not just Deku doing the Dairasen Rinan. You know, they wanted her to see everything. So, yeah, they saw how, you know, Bakugo and Momo were having an argument and all that bullshit. And Bakugo still does the double pin and blast towards Momo. Of course, you know, they're kind of, um, yeah, actually, we, fuck, we kind of seem to have overlooked that. As Inko's eyes are just like daggers into everyone at the UA. As you know, she's pissed off and, you know, she's threatening, even, and she straight up tells him if, you know, they don't find Izuku, like, within this month, like, she's going to destroy UA's name. Like, she is keeping calm right now. She is like, I'm giving you a chance to find him, but I will bury you. You know, shit like that. She is on a whole new wavelength of rage and pistosity. Now, let us cut to Izuku 2 weeks prior when, you know, he flying Raijin out of the room. He decides to just go to, you know, a bridge. And this bridge is just a simple one that he likes to visit when, you know, he wants to clear out his head. You know, one of his personal own spots. Not really where him and Momo go, just one where he was able to go after his training, you know, when he didn't spend time with Momo. This happened just to be a good place where he could also gather some Sage Chakra. Which, you know, he's just thinking, I should just train. You know, he's realizing he does need control. At least something. He doesn't know. He doesn't know if maybe it's his emotions that are horrible. As, you know, he remembers how Kakashi would tell him about, you know, how being so cold-blooded and enjoying the kill didn't really work well with him. But he's confused now. You know, because part of him kind of wanted to end Bakugo. Like, he could have. He knows he could easily, you know, put Bakugo to the brink of death, heal him to just barely alive, like to just barely out of critical condition, to beat him back to the brink of death, heal him back, and then beat him back to death again. It just would be too easy for Izuku. And, no lie, he decides, you know, maybe it's time for him to do the final scroll, and he grabs the Naruto scroll. He decides maybe he needs another master, someone to truly help him clear out his head and give him a new perspective. So, in those 2 weeks he spent with Naruto, you know, inside a forest that nobody knew he was in. You know, Naruto and him, you know, they trained for an ungodly amount of time. And yes, this is Naruto with, like, from Naruto the Last, with KCM Sage of Six Paths bullshit had mixed into it. So, Deku, God tier power right now. As, yes, Naruto decides to pass the sun mark to Izuku. So now, a little green sun crest is on his palm. Of course, it's not over there. As, within the scroll, lied another scroll. As I'm sure some of you have heard how Sasuke said he is The Shadow Hokage? Oh, yes. This was something I was kind of on the fence about whether, like, should I do it or when should I do it? But this is perfect. As, you know, during those 2 weeks, he mastered everything he could with Naruto. As now, he decides, rather than go back to civilization, he should just finish his training and push beyond his limits. And since technically, you know, this is only halfway completed because the Shadow Hokage is not considered, you know, in the line of Hokages. So, yes. But this would take him 3 weeks of training. And no one has seen Izuku within those 3 weeks either. Nothing. Of course, Momo has kind of fallen into a dark depression. I'm not gonna lie to you. She has sunken in cheeks, her eyes, you know, just sunken in raccoon dark eyes, bro. Like just heavy bags. You know, she started to break out. Her hair's messy, oily, and unkempt. Her uniforms aren't as neat as they are. Like, they'll be clean, yeah, but they aren't like tucked in or aren't always, you know, as organized or up to school uniform. Some her grades, they've slipped drastically. You know, pretty much all of class 1A kind of got really dark and really quiet. You know, even with the sports festival happening, it felt hollow. You know, Bakugo and Todoroki, they ended up tying for first. And things just don't feel right anymore. You know, there's nothing with Deku. They don't know where he's been. But, unbeknownst to them, as, you know, it is time for their work studies and internships, or however you want to say it, as, you know, it is the Stain event, because I decided, you know what, fuck the sports festival. It's just too easy to do it, because I know Deku would pwn everyone, but if I write it in a different way, then I can do this better. Because Momo, no lie, she is under Ryuk's agency. Ninja Hato decided, you know, to try and help her because she saw how grim and dark Yue got after the supposed missing child, and she saw who was affected by it most. And, you know, it just was so depressing and so dark. She got bummed out herself, and Nanjire, trying to be the most positive, purest form of energy in existence, resisted this and was trying to make it up to her as whatever she can. Now, she knows Momo still loves Deku, so she never tried to push finding a new guy. However, she pushed using this time, you know, to gather information to help find him. You know, she says within those 5 weeks, she's hired so many investigators, and they couldn't find anything. Which, you know, Neji's saying, but are they as smart as she is? Do they have her quirk? Do they know Izuku as well as she does? She said no. So, clearly she's not exhausted all of her options. Which, this helps bring Momo kind of back into it. Which, I'm not gonna lie to you, Iida's still gonna be on this fuckboy shit. And, yeah. Now, that day, and everyone's in their own agencies right now with their support, it is still with a dark tone. You know, Todoroki never went to Endeavor's agency because he never got that "it's your quirk, not his." So yeah, I mean, Bakugo tried to give him that same speech, but it just wasn't the same because Bakugo doesn't have enough subtlety. or he didn't have the right protagonist. He didn't have enough protagonist juice in him to do that talk no jutsu. So yeah, not enough chakra in that reserved. So he failed. Todoroki still does not use his fire side. And yeah, he's nerfed. However, here is where things have changed, because Izuku has finished all of his training. And Sasuke decides to give him the gift. A gift that, it won't affect his two eyes, but his hand does need a counter to the moon. So, he places his hand on Izuku's forehead, and, lo and behold, the crest of the moon appears on Deku's left palm. Now, that's not the only thing that, Deku was given by Sasuke. As, Sasuke shuts his left eye, and, he starts to fade away, as Izuku now understands what Sasuke gave him. And if you're not getting the hints, then, oh well. Now, Izuku decides to head out. His hair has grown significantly longer, so it covers his bang, like it's past his bangs cover his eyes. But he has it in a similar method that Sasuke did. So, yes, he does wear pretty much a Sasuke-esque outfit with a long black robe, kind of emo-esque thing. He hides his face really well. As, he decides, might as well get some real food, because he's been in the forest, so he's pretty much lived off of nature. But he thinks it's time. He goes in, and, to the surprise of him, he sees one of his classmates, and one who, used to go to school. He was in class 1B, but they're in the same group, I guess, for internships. It was some muscly dude with 4 arms and a tuxedo. They were there, helping, serve food. They were doing it, if you were homeless, they would pay for your meal. Of course, Deku does not look recognizable to Kirishima or Tetsu. Yeah, I just kind of want to say his name like that because it's too much fun. Anyway, Izuku, he still, he was about to go, and then he turns. As, they say, "Oh, sir, if you don't have any money, we don't mind paying." As, Kirishima's already running with a new bento box, and he just hands it to Izuku, and Izuku's just like, "Oh, thank you." As, Kirishima's just like, "You look kind of familiar." As, this is when Fourkind, I think that was his name. They're Fourkind, no, I think it's Fourkind, or Fourth Kind. Something like that. Anyway, he yells at Kirishima to, stop prancing around and get back to work. So Kirishima dips, and Deku leaves with a free meal. Of course, he smiles as he's just thinking he owes Kirishima, he owes Kirishima one. He eats his meal, and of course, we're not done with him meeting other people, as, he hears a robbery in process, and of course, his heroic nature has him have to be there, so he body flickers to where he hears the noise, and to his surprise, there's already some pro heroes there, so he knows he doesn't have to take action right away, depending on, how they handle shit. As he's surprised is when he's seeing the hostages, he sees Jiro, another one of his classmates, helping out, and he's just like, shit, gotta go. As Jiro sees him, and she also thinks this guy looks weirdly familiar. It's something about that green hair. As, she has to focus on her hostages, so she looks away, helps the hostages go through. She looks back, no sign of the strangers. She's on the fence on how, this goes. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you when I say that both her and Kirishima, are thinking, should they mention this to somebody? Like, should they tell Momo? I don't, but they don't want to hurt her or get her hopes up because, if the chances this is just some random dude, then then fuck, they kind of just wasted Momo's time and got her hopes up for nothing. So, for the time, they wait, and things just continue as normal. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, when things do not turn so good for Momo, as, she's still hella depressed during her study with Nejire and Ryuk. They're patrolling at night when all of a sudden there's chaos and Nomus start appearing. Momo knows what they are, but due to her not eating as often, she has maybe a third of her strength, honestly. She's nowhere near as good as she should be. But, she proceeds to fight alongside with Ryuk and Nejire to help clear civilians and such and such. Of course, this chaos allows Deku to hear this, of course. So, things continue. As, the three Nomu are still there. Endeavor he's on his way too, but, Deku arrives because body flickers is too good. When he sees something that damn near stops his heart, he sees Momo, but he sees Momo after he's left. He can tell she's been through hell, and he hates himself for it. He wants to go to her and apologize, say that he's here, explain everything, apologize for the way he acted, ask her if things can be the same or if they can go back to how they used to be. But no, he worries that she hates him. So he stays back. That is until a Nomu catches her lacking and proceeds to, punch her, slamming her into the fucking car. She's too weak to use her quirk, and, the Nomu is about to smash her in again, as Ryuk is too far away. Nejire, she tried to use one of her energy blasts, but another Nomu came in, took the hit for it, as, it raised his fists up, as Momo just stood there, and she just kind of accepted it, thinking, if, Deku was alive, then maybe it's better this way, because she hated the fact that the last thing she did was, slap him and back away in fear, rather than try and understand Deku's perspective. But she doesn't know if, Deku could understand that she was just so terrified. She's never seen Izuku act like that. She's always just known him to be a kind person. So seeing him wield such a massive destructive ability and then show off another one even greater than that, it made her think, if he went dark, it's just game over. She couldn't beat him. She couldn't bring herself to fight Izuku. She doesn't think there would be anyone stronger than Izuku. And, that's kind of what drove her away from him. Now, this does not break the ship. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every ship has some rocky sailings. It has to be this way. So, as the Nomu proceeds to, go, Momo's just waiting for the impact, and the impact never happens, as I do not care. As, Momo looks up, and there's just this guy in a black robe with messy green hair who places his hand on her and heals her. She recognizes this sensation, the green energy, glow, and everything. She's about to say a name before, she feels a sharp pain in her neck and she passes out. Izuku does catch her as, he's just saying, I'm sorry, Momo. And, he sets her down as, he looks at the Nomu with rage in his eye. As he just simply looks at his hand as, a wind-style Rasen Shuriken forms. As then, from his eyes, blood starts to form as they glow red. As he then says, Amaterasu. As, black flames appear around the Rasen Shuriken, creating, as I'm going to try my best to say it, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, Minato said, Scorch style, jet black Nimbus arrow. I probably said it wrong, but I do not care right now. So, continuing on, Izuku, proceeds to stick out his other hand as, his hair separates, revealing his forehead. A Rene Sharingan eye opens, as then he says, Universal Pull, as the three Nomu come towards him. As then he yeets the Rasen Shuriken, catching all three of them. It goes off into the atmosphere, blowing up in a giant range of black flames and wind blades, consuming and thus completely incinerating and annihilating all Nomu. They're all looking as, what the fuck? Deku just body flickers away. And, when Edre is looking for Momo, she doesn't see her body anywhere. She's worried. Did that guy just steal her friend's body? She tells Ryuk, and Ryuk decides, oh shit, we need to go find him. Of course, Deku could sense Iida's chakra, or his energy, or however you want to say it, in danger, as he took Momo with him, because he can't just leave her. She knows that was him, and he's not just gonna abandon her. Again, he feels so terrible that he's got to face this. As, Iida gets stabbed in the spine just like Ingenium. As, Stain pulls out the blade. As, he smirks and laughs to him, saying, there, I crippled you for right now. As he's saying he doesn't have much time. His original goal was and still is, that fake hero native. As then, out of nowhere, Stain's knife, sword, disappears, and Izuku's right there as he says, Chidori, as he plummets it straight through Stain's chest. As Stain's eyes widen, not expecting this. Izuku removes his hand as Stain falls to the floor, laughing, saying that, it doesn't matter. The kid's done. As Izuku's saying, that's where you're wrong. As, his hand glows green, and he places it over Iida's spine as the wound heals, and, Iida starts twitching his feet as, he's surprised he can move. He's in pain still, and Izuku then proceeds to drive his fist into Iida's spine, causing a giant crater, also kind of breaking his spine again, which Stain is confused as, Izuku saying that's just because he did something stupid. He'll heal him again later. As, he leaves Stain for dead. He proceeds to take Native, Iida, and Momo, and wait for, the pro heroes to arrive. When the pro heroes arrive, Izuku wastes no time in putting them under a genjutsu. Like, absolutely no time. They are standing perfectly still. As he then proceeds to, gather in all of his chakra within his hand and, sever their optical nerves just temporarily. As, he's about to show Momo and Iida his Rene Sharingan. You know, he severed natives' nerves too, but he'll heal them. As you know, Momo and Iida asks when they come to, they see Zuku. Izuku also puts them in a genjutsu using the Rene Sharingan and shows them everything he did. Like his whole training montage, how he did it with Sasuke, Naruto, and the gifts that they gave him, and all the things that he can do, and how he was able to heal Iida, and that he could probably heal, Tensei too. So just don't be mad anymore. You know, Momo instantly just hugs Deku when she's out of the Genjutsu. Iida, he's not mad, he's just frustrated. He wanted to be the one to take down Stain, but ultimately he realizes he he was weak. He was nowhere near the level of Stain, and nowhere near, like, anywhere near approaching the concept of considering that he could be on level, like, equal to Izuku. So yeah, that kind of destroyed the man's pride, I'm not gonna lie. But Deku tells him they just need to train. And now that Deku is, here, alive, he plans to help that out with everyone. As, Momo, she's still crying into Izuku's arms. She then pulls back, as then she proceeds to punch him as hard as she physically can, which, to her surprise, did absolutely nothing. Izuku just stands there like a brick wall, as he's saying, yeah, you're not going to be able to hurt me at all. As, he brings in Momo and gives her a good kiss. Some tonsil hockey is played, I'm not going to lie. But Deku, he's civil. He keeps it appropriate since there are pro heroes around. But that's not all that happens. As, Kurogiri and Shigaraki are seeing this kid, and they kind of know that it has to be the kid who went missing, but they don't know what in the fuck is this kid's power. Fuck. The sports festival happened without happening, but they never got to see anything about the kid, so this is brand new. The way he destroyed their Nomu was terrifying. There was absolutely nothing left. They were put in black flames and a sphere explosion of wind blades. So, it was just GG's. Game over. Of course, this does not discourage All For One and Shigaraki, as he decides it is now time to... my bad. Expand and build. Retract in the shadows a little bit, but it's time to do some training of their own. Gather numbers, recruit people, and become better. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you when I say Deku has an encounter with someone after that night, because, when they think Deku is about to leave with them, he says he's saying he's not gonna be going to UA yet. He's still got something that he needs to take care of, as he then proceeds to flying right out there, saying absolutely nothing to no one, which pisses off Momo and Iida. Momo, just thinking she just got her man back, thinks she lost him again, but then she realizes he's just saying he needs to take care of something, so he'll be back, right? But when will he be back? She doesn't know. So she thinks it's pointless, but she texts Deku, can you at least tell me when you're going to be back at UA? And Deku, to her surprise, responded relatively quick within 2 minutes of saying, hopefully by next week, depending on how tonight goes. As he also says he won't be able to talk because he's gonna have to turn off his phone. You know, he loves her. And that was it. Momo, she was happy. She felt relieved. She knew that not only was Deku alive, but he still cared about her. He was not mad, and not only that, but he was going to return to her. But then she got worried. What does he have to do tonight? Why does he have to turn off his phone? You know, she's running so many scenarios as, she asked Iida, what did he do to this hero killer? And he straight up says, yo, he ran his chest, ran his hand through his chest, no lie, with lightning on it. I don't even know how the fuck he did it, but he did it. Nedry explains, oh yeah, he destroyed those monster things too. Wait, what? How? He made this weird wind disc with this blue orb in it, and then he made black flames go on it too. He then said universal pull. The three monsters came towards him. When all three of them, were at a certain angle of contact towards him, he threw the disc and it took them really, really high in the sky and go boom. Wait, no, not boom. Then it exploded. I don't want to make Nedry too dumb, but I'm gonna make her simple. Fook. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, when Izuku, oh shit, there's something new. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that. Anyway, Izuku, yeah, I'm almost done with this actually. I'm gonna wrap this up soon. The Stain arc kind of ends kind of shittily, and there was no sports festival, but I do not feel bad. There was not really much to do, but did I cover the USJ arc? I wanna say no. Well, I guess he wouldn't have been there for the USJ arc either. Huh. What about that number? I'm gonna just say that number wasn't ready yet, so they didn't attack. They still got the files on everyone's quirks, so attack is still planned. It's just gonna be bigger. Now, for Izuku's perspective, he's out by the docks trying to catch some air, trying to clear his mind at least, until he hears, some noise. He decides to check it out, and he sees, some pirates, and oh my god, yet again he sees one of his classmates, but he sees her in danger. He sees Tsuyu, and she's in a certain situation where she has to explain that she's her backup. Her and her friend are fine, but they're not fine. But Izuku knows he's got this, as he's just saying, well, he can't let her down, as he decides to, yell, universal pull, as this is when, I think her name was Sirius. I want to say S, or Siriu, or something like that. Sirius, something with an S. Or Aquas? Sirius? Whatever. Anyway, she then got pulled towards Izuku, which actually freed her from the grip of, the octopus guy. Tsuyu is like, who is that? Of course, Deku would make a shadow clone and have the shadow clone catch her friend, as Deku proceeded to, use Sasuke's Rinne Sharingan ability to teleport or switch the two places between Tsuyu and, the real Deku. The clone would then tell them, stay here, as he poofed off. Just undid himself. As Deku just stands before the guy's just laughing, saying, you think you can beat me? As Izuku just says, you know, of course, this is going to be fun. As lightning starts to appear from his hand, as Deku, lifts up his hand, and then says, this is a move that is a real, deserves a real good applause. As Deku proceeds to expel an insane amount of lightning out of his hand, shooting it up into the sky. Of course, everyone's confused on why he did that until, the storm clouds appear as they hear rumbling. Lightning appears and holy shit, is there? No, that couldn't be. The Kraken is just shitting himself as, he's seeing something through the lightning and the thunder. Just on occasions, it breaks through the clouds as a fucking lightning dragon appears, through the clouds. His body ever so long. And I mean, if a motherfucker were to stare at Shenron long, it's just wrapped around the sky, almost like a large coil. As, Izuku's just like, by the way, you're not gonna get out of this alive. As the Kraken's eyes widen, as he's saying, what? As Izuku's saying, be gone, with the thunderclap. As he brings down his hand and proceeds to, disappear. He flying Raijin's back to where Tsuyu and her friend are, because, his clone caught her and marked her. They just didn't know that. As, he's there as the lightning dragon proceeds to fall, roar down, and chomp down on the Kraken as it explodes the boat and completely vaporizing every single atom there. The vaporizing of, the water around them does happen. It got really hot and the steam was very strong. A very hot mist, if you will, rolled through the whole, city around them. Which Deku easily was able to, use to his advantage. As, he told Tsuyu that, it is who she thinks it is. And that, they'll meet again soon. As he disappeared. As, she's just like, Midoriya. As, she's thinking she has to tell, Momo about it. As, Momo already knows that Deku's back, but, she doesn't know where he went. Tsuyu's just like, he doesn't seem to know that it was me, or, that it would have been me when he came. He just came here because he heard, a scream, and he knew something was wrong. So, yeah. Iida also has to explain how, he was healed thanks to Izuku, and that, maybe he could heal Tensei. Now, of course, at this very instant, thanks to this hot mist, everyone was kind of freaked out because this was not in the weather reports. So, they're thinking, be on guard. So, this causes, the police to start doing patrols outside, focusing their guard towards out the city, making sure that nothing's there. But this is perfect for Izuku because this left, an opening for him to sneak into Ingenium's room. Ingenium's just like, who's there? As Izuku's just saying, a friend of Iida. As, he places his hand on his chest, a small glow as, a pulse happens through his body. As he's just saying, I felt that throughout my whole body. Wait. What? As then he proceeds to wiggle his toes. As, he opens his eyes wide. sits up, and he's just moving his feet. He turns his head, and he doesn't see Zuko anywhere. He just sees, the window open as some of the mist enters his room. As, then he, looks for his phone and calls his parents. He has to tell them, and they tell him to bring Tensei. You know, that happens their whole and Tensei was already on his way. So, not Tensei, Iida. Yeah, so Tensei tells them to tell Iida, and Iida was already on his way to the hospital when, you know, he already hears his brother, like, exclaiming, like, cheering, as, he's on the phone with his parents, as Iida runs in, bursts through the door, and he sees his brother, like, fully dressed, standing, as, he's crying. They share a brotherly tearing hug for, you weird people who like guy on guy brother themed. This is for you, I guess. But that's it. That's all you get. Now, to continue on with our story, there happens to be a meeting between, Shigaraki and All for One through the computer with a, group of politicians, well, people of authoritative power out in the real world, who also in the underground seem to help run, this special army. The army also, oh my god, it's almost 11. Damn, I'm gonna have to end this soon. It's getting late. Alright then, as yeah, I'm gonna end it with this meeting. As it is the members of the Paraliberation Army, the Meta Liberation Army. As All for One, he's still in charge. He's saying that he wants to recruit them to help aid Shigaraki in helping destroy the symbol of peace, because All for One kind of wants them to bend over and join their goals rather than, their goals and accomplish them, being true to themselves. But this resolves in some tension, and, I'm not gonna lie when I say it's curious who says, she just needs to touch him and, she can blow him up, as Shigaraki says in one of his touches can disintegrate her. As there is some spicy tension between the two that... Nani? Ooh. Segui. I'm gonna have to watch that later. As, there's this stark tension that the two seem to share, and no lie, the two stare at each other. Her, green eyes stare into his red eyes, as, the two ended up with a smile, as, Curious says she's willing to help him, train him, but, their ideology is weak, and they need more than just killing All Might. All for One saying, but of course, this isn't just a simple, dictatorship. I'm here to listen to your needs. I want to make sure everyone's happy with Tomura's ideas, as long as it all runs parallel to Tomo's ideology of destroying the symbol of peace and rewriting, destroying the image of heroes. As, Red Destro just saying, well, we can get behind that, so why not? As Getten and Skeptic also agree, as they agree to train Shigaraki for the next, couple months, as All for One then decides to get his, well, he makes Kurogiri do it, but to gather a group of special quirked humans who would want to get some revenge on, UA, as UA will be going on a special island class trip together. Now, this is the reason why this is special is because, Class 1A and Class 1B are going because they are going to be, you know, examining and showing off their quirks off to not just pro heroes, but, you know, people around the world, other agencies. They're going to be meeting some international heroes. That sounds really weird, but okay. But yes, we are going to be meeting some international heroes, and one group is going to be from America. And this is where a poll will be going up on my community tab, which I'm gonna just, we're going to do this right now. Create a poll. Okay. American, students versus UA students. Oh wait, teens or Marvel. Teens. Okay, we're done. I hope y'all enjoy this. When I get to it, it's pretty much going to be Deku meeting up with UA and explaining his deal. Now, I hope you guys have a good one. That one. Aw. Okay, have a good one, everyone. Third upload of the day.